So, welcome everybody. I hope you can see me clearly. Am I audible and visible? And please let me know if the AV is clear and also who all are live here in the class. We have started. Apologies for the 1 minute delay. I'm not supposed to come late to the class. Are we good? So, Sanjeev, Rangesh, Afreen, Krishna, good morning everyone. Let's start without much delay. Already the class has been delayed. So that wasn't intended, but there were some scheduling issues from my side, so my fault. It won't happen next time again. I think there was some miscommunication between me and my team, so that is why this session had to be scheduled an hour late. Uh, and the session will go nicely today. So we have some pretty good questions today, but okay, the questions are a little less today. We have 16 questions as opposed to 20. So we'll do some more questions tomorrow. So instead of 20 tomorrow, we'll be doing 25 to 30 questions to the day coming. So the next YouTube session on 27th, we'll be doing approximately 30 questions. That's because of the scheduling issue again. So won't happen. Please bear with me for this one while. And a very good morning to all of you. Briefly about me, I'm from the IT Mesra, have 3 years of teaching experience and more, because I learn each day at Unacademy, and it's wonderful to be here this morning. I've appeared for 4 mains and an interview, and I did my postgrad in MBA in HR from XLR Jamshedpur. This is my Unacademy profile. You can follow me there and post all your queries to me there. I will definitely get back to you. With that, very good morning, everyone. So I hope you guys are still here. I am good, Rangesh. Thank you. I am very well and very happy because the weather is absolutely pleasant today. At least in Jaipur, it is absolutely pleasant. I hope the monsoon is good in your states too. So with that, at Unacademy, you get daily live classes where you can chat with me directly. So most of you are my regular students. You already know that. In fact, even on YouTube, you can chat with me directly. Most of the times I reply, the other times I start scolding you because you make silly mistakes when we are doing the questions. And we do live test and quizzes. So this is again a prelims test series in itself. And on Unacademy, you get the PDF as well right after the class. So a lot of people had been asking me this. So you have this view PDF option once the class is over. Good afternoon, Aditya. Now it is well afternoon. So all our courses are aligned to civil services syllabus, and one subscription on Unacademy gives you unlimited access to all our live and recorded courses. So if you have the subscription, you can go and refer back to my science and tech course. With that, download the Unacademy app. It's better way to watch the Unacademy sessions because you can keep a track of your performance and you will get the notifications for the sessions. We also have the Unacademy Iconic program. This is for both fresh and perseverant or repeat aspirants. So in addition to what you get at Plus, which I just mentioned, live classes, test series, unlimited practice and structured schedule, you get a personal coach that is the highlight of the program, whom you can bother as much as you want, like you guys bother me. Daily mains Q&A practice, study planner and a personalized feedback totally dedicated to you, like I do with you guys. I keep on scolding you based on your performance. So that person will be dedicated completely on you, focused on you. For the Iconic, our fee is 64,000 for 1 year and 99,000 for 2 years. You can use my code SBUS to get an instant 10% off on any of the UPSC CSE courses. And for the Plus, it is 44,000 for a year and 64,000 for 2 years. Again, use my code SBUS for any subscription courses on UPSC CSE Unacademy, and you get an instant 10% off, which makes it less than 40,000 for 1 year and less than 58,000 for 2 years. With that, choose wisely, choose Unacademy, choose Iconic, and use my code SBUS for any subscriptions on the UPSC CSE category. This is my special class. Most of you are already aware. But tonight, guys, I want you to come to the special classes because I think I will be discussing payment banks versus small finance banks. So I think I will be starting right away the session with that. And yes, I had promised a couple of pictures of the temples from the Bhubaneswar area. So we'll do that also, I think, in the coming session. And I think by the weekend, we should be having a session on the motivation or the session that you wanted regarding pressure handling in the prelims. So it should be ready. And we also have a Sunday super marathon. So I think we'll be doing a full-fledged mock test on that. And this class, we will be having daily till the end of August and then continuing in September. So till your prelims are not completed, I will be there with you every single day. We'll do as many questions as we can. All right. So come on the Unacademy session at 8:30 p.m. It is a special class, so free for all. You can join in. With that, we'll start. Good morning. Actually, Nandu, good afternoon. Apologies. Good afternoon it is now. So let's begin. The rules of the game, pretty simple. Feel free to be wrong. Make as many mistakes as you can in this last 1.5 months that remain for the exam. Not even 1.5 months, 1 month that remains. Don't be sad if you make mistakes. It is okay. Suman, this is specially for you if you are here. Good morning, Shantini. Right? So, because if you're not getting it correct, if you're getting nervous, no need to get nervous, no need to get afraid at all. Make as many mistakes as you can. Your fear will come out completely. 20 to 25 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. Most importantly, it's a wonderful morning. It's a delightful weather here. So enjoy your mornings. And I do believe that my students improve each day. I do feel that and I do see that. So with that, we'll start the class first with the monthly 5. Yes, Suman? Very well. So question number 1 on your screens. 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. Another 5 seconds to go. And then I'll switch on the timer. There you go. All right, I'm already getting some answers here. All right, I have some answers here. All those who have answered D, can you please read the question again? So, Nandu, Rangesh, Shivranjani have answered it correctly. Akash, all those who have answered option D, it is not correct. This is incorrect. This point, option number 2, is actually correct if you look at article 324. So, do you guys remember part 15 of the constitution is elections, right? Article 324 to 329. We have done this a lot of times. Let's actually go back. Here. Sorry. Yes. Part 15, 324 to 329A is your elections. So if you go to Article 324, it clearly mentions that the election commissioners can be removed from the office only with the recommendation of the Chief Election Commissioner. So there is no elaborate procedure defined on how to remove the election commissioner. We all know that Chief Election Commissioner has to be removed in a procedure similar to the impeachment of the president, right? We already discussed that once when we discussed that Ashok Lavasa has resigned as the member of Election Commission and has joined ADB. And the new election commissioner is Rajiv Kumar. Are we guys clear with that? Sanjeev, it's not C, it's B. So, with that, if you go and look at Article 324, it says this. In fact, in 2017, there was a petition filed that we really need to have more clarity on how to remove the election commissioners. Why? The petition said that, a lot of finance is involved when the elections happen. And if we leave it to the whims and fancies of the recommendations of the Chief Election Commissioner, on how or when the election commissioner should be replaced or removed, then it leaves out a very vague field for their removal and might be prone to abuse. However, no action has been taken on it as of now. So option 2 is correct. Option 1 is incorrect. The constitution does not bar retiring election commissioners from any further appointment of the government. It's not there. The only thing that is there is they retire at the age of 65 years or when their 6 years is completed, whichever is earlier. So there is no barring to the retired election commissioners from any further appointment by the government, right? It is not there. Are we clear? Actually, let's look at this if you want to understand more. So, okay, there we go. The second point which you guys said is incorrect. So look at Article 324 clause 5. This is directly from the Indian Constitution, clause number 5. So it says that the chief election commissioner shall not be removed from his office except in like manner and on the grounds similar to the judge of the Supreme Court, and conditions of the service of chief election commissioner shall not be varied to his disadvantage after the appointment. So that's 324(5). But what is important is that any other election commissioner or regional commissioner shall not be removed from the office except on the recommendation of the chief election commissioner. So hence point number 2 is correct. So they remove it based on the recommendations. There is no clarified procedure. There is no standard operating procedure, Rangesh. If the chief election commissioner suggests that he should be removed, he will be removed. And that's why it leaves out a very, very vague and open field for abuse. That is what the petition was about. Good afternoon, Naveen. Why are you late to the class? Did you get a chance to attempt the question number 1? Are we clear, Rangesh? And Rangesh, they did not remove the election commission, but they can remove the election commissioner. These state election commissions are a part of the constitution. Are we good? All right. Question number 11 on your screens. Very easy. It was recently in news. So your time starts now. Year limit to what, Rangesh? Can you please pinpoint it? All right. Aditya, whose removal is not mentioned in the constitution? The election commissioners is not mentioned. They only say that the election commissioners can be removed on the recommendation of the chief election commissioner. But the proper procedure, like in the case of chief election commissioner, that he should be removed as if the judge of Supreme Court is being removed and on the similar grounds as of the judge of the Supreme Court, that is not mentioned for the election commissioners. Are we okay? Are we good? All right. So most of you have answered it correctly. Let's go and look at the scheme for which the Irula, Mudukka and Kurumba tribes were in news. So it was a very easy question. So basically, it's about teaching the tribal people in their own language or in their mother tongue. It's a very, very big problem. In fact, I had a very personalized experience to this. So while I was doing my postgrad, you are taken on a village trip, a village trekking trip. So it also happens in Labasna, by the way. You are taken on small village trips. So we were taken to a village 50 kilometers away from Jharkhand, I think in Girid. So we were there, and when we interacted with the school children, none of them knew Hindi. So they really couldn't interact with us. Now imagine if you're teaching them in Hindi, how will they cope up with the entire curriculum? So that's actually a very big problem. These people can be, or the tribal children or anybody should be better taught in their vernacular. So that is also a part of the new education policy now, that you will be taught in your vernaculars at least for a considerable period of time, so that you don't miss out on the concept building that happens in the formative years. So Irula, Mudukka and Kurumba tribes, they belong to the state of Kerala and reside in the Western Ghats. So this Kerala part is correct. Now, this Namath Basai is a program that was in news recently. It was there on news on AIR also. So there will be a YouTube channel which will record the sessions in the tribal languages of these tribes, right? And it will be put on the YouTube. Just like we interact here, it will be put on YouTube so that these children can go and watch that. The Kurumba tribes, they actually practice shifting, cultivation and foraging, and their religion is animism. So that means you actually consider, for example, worshipping the water god, worshipping the thunder god. So that's animism. And totemism, so I don't know if you know about the Red Americans of North America. They have huge totem poles. There are wooden logs and deities are carved out on that wooden logs, and they worship those wooden logs. It's a very, very famous form of worship. So that is totemism. About the Irula or Irula tribe, they are agriculturists. So unlike the Kurumba tribe, who practice shifting cultivation or Jhum cultivation as it is called in Northeast, these people do proper agriculture and they worship Vishnu or Siva or Rangaswamy without differentiation. That means they do not differentiate between Siva and Rangaswamy. They also practice animism and worship the tiger. Then we have the Mudugars or Muduga. They are food gatherers and hunters, so pretty primitive tribe, and they practice Hinduism. So that's a brief about them. But the important part is the initiative that has been taken by the Kerala state government. I think it's a laudable initiative. The Yes, Obin. So you are better equipped to actually know that. I haven't come across much of this, especially the animism part. I have seen the totemism part. I have read about it. So thank you, Obit, for helping me out. All right, the age limit. Yes, you can alter that, right? Rangesh, that can be altered. Sorry, Sivranjini, teaching what? Sivranjini, anything that you want to tell me? Because I'm not able to understand. Hello, Komal. And who's Narendra Modi here? Can I please get your name? All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Question number 3, 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. All right. Rangesh, apologies, but I do not know about the state acts. I haven't read the AP Panchayat Act. So if you want me to actually comment on that, I need to go through it. Before reading it, I cannot comment on it. Is that okay? So another 5 seconds to go and then we'll start. Nandu has already answered. Now, nowadays, Nandu doesn't use the option E, which is called skip. All right, your time starts now. Sivranjini, were you saying something? Because I missed it. I couldn't understand that one word which you were talking about. Krishna is, ma'am, 50-50 kar lete hain. Delete A and B, then C and D remain, and out of C and D, my option is C. Yes, Krishna? Akash, why B? I'm not talking about the incorrect options. I'm talking about the correct options. And Sanjeev, why B? All right. Coming here, it is A actually. Nandu is correct. This is not done by the district mineral foundations. No. If it talks about insurance, it not necessarily be about mining. All right. So the first one is correct. Have you guys recently read the news about Employee State Insurance Corporation Limited, ESIC? Yes, Aditya, you're correct. Krishna, it's not C. Naveen, it's not C. All of you, it's option number A. Both 1 and 2 are not correct. So I already discussed this once in the Unacademy sessions. I will discuss it again here. So recently, this Atal Bimit Vyakti Kalyan Yojana was actually started in 2018 as a pilot project to be finished off till 2020. But then, and it was started by the Labour Ministry under the ESIC or Employee State Insurance Corporation. So a couple of you, all right, Shivranjani, okay. So a couple of you who are already working must be knowing about the ESIC scheme. So anyone earning up to 21,000 per month is covered under the ESIC scheme. That means they get insured and they can use the ESIC hospitals in the state, right? Now, labor is a part of your concurrent list in the Schedule 7, which has all the lists. Coming back to this scheme, so under this scheme, a person will get once in a lifetime unemployment benefit. If that person has been unemployed for more than 3 months, then averaging out his salary, 25% of the average of his salary in the last 3 months or in the last, based on his contribution in the last 2 years, will be given to him as the unemployment benefit. So recently, the Labour Ministry under the Atal Bimit Vyakti Kalyan Yojana raised that 25% ceiling to 50% ceiling given the extraordinary situation, coronavirus situation. So finally, this scheme is being put to good use. What they'll be seeing is the last 2 years of contribution period, in which if you were employed for 80 days, so how much amount of pay you were getting. So averaging it out for the 3 months, you will get 50% of that pay as the unemployment benefit, and it is for the insured persons. Who are the insured persons? Industrial workers earning up to 21,000 per month in a non-seasonal factory. What do we mean by a non-seasonal factory? Something which is permanent, having more than 10 workers. So this act applies to them, ECIC Act. All right, Subir, you're from Kolkata. Actually, see, it is all regulated. It will be kind of a direct benefit transfer. You are automatically covered by employee state insurance, right? So I don't know. Akash, have you worked before? Have you worked, Akash? So this part is already deducted. So there is approximately 4% contribution to be made to the ESIC every time you are paid. So 3.25% of the contribution, it's like your provident fund. But in this state insurance corporation funds, 3.25% contribution comes from the employer and 0.75% contribution comes from the employee. So total of 4% contribution is made to ESIC. Yes. So yes, there is of course some scope for corruption, but I do feel it's a wonderful scheme. Now they have extended the scheme for another year. It was supposed to actually finish off in 2020 itself. So we in India are doing it kind of for the first time, actually providing unemployment benefits in form of money or monetary compensation. So it's a good scheme. You should know about it. That's the whole idea. All right. Are we good? Akash, if you see the salary slips, this what do you say? This pay cut is already there in your salary slip. So unless you're not working, you will not understand that. All right. Okay. Let's move on to question number 4. 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. This one is also a very interesting development that has happened recently. So we'll talk about it in a little bit detail. Yes, Suman, it is written in salary slip. So I used to have a provident fund written in my salary slip, but those who are industrial workers, they will have ESIC contribution written in their salary slip. All right, Rangesh has already answered me. The time starts now. Rangesh, do you want to reread it? Why is everybody answering C? All right, let's check it out. What is the answer? So, coming here, actually see, this one, it was not set up, as you can see, by Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. That's why option number 2 is incorrect. It was set up by Ministry of Finance, right? And yes, it was PPP model, definitely when you're doing skill development. So that part you got correct, but it was Ministry of Finance. Hence, option 2 is incorrect and only option A is correct. Shantini, yes, ESI will be there, but are you covered under ESI? Because to be covered under ESI, you should have be earning 21,000 per month. Lesser than that, but not more than that. Not MSME Afreen, Ministry of Finance. Are we good? Yes, Komal, the answer is A. So those who answered C, it is not correct. Option B is also incorrect. Option A is correct. So yes, it is for fostering private sector initiatives and skill development programs. Actually, let's go through it. So recently, IBM India and National Skill Development Corporation, they tied up to offer free digital skills training, right? Under the platform, they will offer courses to develop 11 key skills which are usually valued in the market but obviously not taught to you as a part of college curriculum. In fact, there are a lot of skills which are not taught to you as a part of college curriculum. So the companies have to invest another 1 year in training you. Now, NSDC is a not-for-profit public limited company under Section 25 of Companies Act 1956. And it is a Ministry of Finance PPP model, not even MSMEs. Are we guys clear? It is not MSME, it is Ministry of Finance. So sometimes there is a shocker related. All right. And this entire thing, um, if you know that you can skill people using a PPP model, it will actually boost the employment opportunities and will become, as it says, the role of market maker. Once you have the skills, you can create the market for those skills. So that's what is intended by this. All right, Komal. All right. All right. Let's move on to question number 5. This we have discussed a couple of times. All right. The answer is A, Komal. Option number A. So 20 seconds to read question number 5 and 30 seconds to answer. Which one, Rangesh? I know, Aditya. All right, your time starts now. This one is easy. This one I think we have done when we discussed the first survey for Indian bison was carried out in Tamil Nadu. Do you guys remember? That was one of the first questions we did. The Indian bison one. I don't know how many of you remember. I very clearly remember that. All right, Rangesh, I'll check it. Can we first do this? Then I'll go back and check it. All right? Okay. So I already have the answers. Yes, option 1 is incorrect. IUCN status is vulnerable. And yes, it is the tallest species of wild cattle. So 2 and 3 both are correct. Option number B is correct, folks. Let's go and check it out. So recently, have you heard the news that pregnant bisons were actually killed and they are considered to be aphrodisiacs? So it has created a huge hue and cry. Do you guys remember? Sabir, it's not A, it's actually B. Option 2 and 3 both are correct. And apart from being as a part of vulnerable in the IUCN Red List, it is also part of Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Are we good? Guys, do you know where Masinagudi National Park is? Masinagudi National Park? Anybody has any idea? Please post it in the live chat section. All right. So this is how the Indian bison look like. And if you see, it has a convex arc in its horns and it's actually quite huge. It's also called God in Hindi. and it is endemic to South and South Asia region. I will also show you the range states where it is. And the recent survey, the first ever survey for Indian bison was done recently in Nilgiris in Tamil Nadu. So it's predominantly found there. And it has actually a very small tail which doesn't even reach properly till its knees. So this is a very characteristic feature of the god, Indian god. Masinagudi is not in Kerala exactly. It's in Tamil Nadu, Sanjeev. It's a part of the Muddumalai National Park, which is in Tamil Nadu. So it's one of the core ranges of the Muddumalai National Park. No, Aditya, not in Mizoram, in Tamil Nadu, Masinagudi. And BR Hills are a part of Bangalore actually, Karnataka. Sanjeev, Tamil Nadu. Alright? You have seen what? It's actually on the border of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Muddumalai is on the border of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. But the Masinagudi ranges, they specifically lie on the Tamil Nadu side. So I know this Muddumalai wala thing is actually on the very border of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka here. Right? Alright, Rangesh. Okay? Chalo. So let's look at the range. So I'm not very sure of this range, but this is a Wikipedia picture. So as per them, the Western Ghat is predominantly an area where you find Indian bison. Do you guys remember? We also have a bison or Rajban National Park in Tripura. Aditya, are you aware of that? So we have this national park. We already did it once in a session on Unacademy. So it is somewhere here with the border to Bangladesh. This is where your Bison Rajban National Park is. Yes, so that's this, and this is the range for the Indian bison. It is found all across South and Southeast Asia. So you can see a lot of it is covered in Malaysia itself. Sorry, Myanmar itself. Alright, we'll move on to the next session. The quick 10 rounds. So 15 to 20 seconds to answer and 30 seconds to. Alright? Okay. So should we move? This is an easy one. So I'll start right away. Yes, Aditya, we did that on Unacademy. I will show you a couple of more centuries today, and I think then we'll be done with the National Park wala part. We'll do a couple of them today also. So that ways we'll complete the entire map in national parks. So if there is any question on national parks, you guys won't do it wrong. That I can assure you. Anybody wants to answer this one? 6 is D. Very good, Nandu. You're correct. It's European Commission. So United for Biodiversity Coalition, it came into practice in March. So most of the questions today are from March 2020. Now I have started doing it month-wise. So just to inform you, which I did to my Unacademy students yesterday, we have completed majority of the questions from July 19, June 19, May 19, May 2020, January 2020, February 2020, December 19, November 19. And I think August I'm covering here only. July 19, July 20 we have also done. So I think out of the 12-13 months that we have to cover, we have already covered 9 months of current affairs in all the sessions that we have done so far. Neelam, what happened and why are you so late to the class? So Nandu was the first one to answer it correctly. Krishna, it's D. Suman, it is D. Naveen, it is D. Rangesh, you are correct. Aditya, it's D. European Commission. Afreen, Sabir and Komal, it's D. European Commission. Let's actually see this. So this United for Biodiversity Coalition was launched on the World Wildlife Day, that is 3rd of March in 2020 itself. So in that, all the zoos, aquariums, botanical gardens, national park, natural history and science museums will come together to boost public awareness about nature crisis, what is happening and how can we preserve biodiversity, right? And it is a coalition adopting a common pledge which cited Guys, we have already done this question on IPBES, Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, which came out with its first report saying that 1 million species are already at a risk of extinction, right? So they said we pledge based on the findings of IPBES that we will create awareness amongst the visitors to raise their voice for nature, to conserve nature. This was a part of the Down to Earth magazine. So I've put the link here. You can go and visit this article if you want. Is that okay? All right. Now, the favorite question of the day, question number 7, 20 seconds to read and think and 30 seconds to answer. So I already discussed this with you. Wow. Another 5 seconds to go and your time starts. Your time starts now. Nandu, you want to answer it? You're usually the first one to answer me. Guys, are you facing any network difficulties because of rains? Or is it good at your end? Are you guys safe and sound? All right. I got my first correct answer. Naveen is correct. Neelam wants to decide again. Yes. All of them are incorrect actually. You're right. Rangesh, it's D. So most of you got it correct. It's D. Neelam also, she said, ma'am, let me go back and check the map. Yes, ma'am, it is D. Right, Neelam? That's what happened? All right, okay. Komal, are you the same pro-human wala person, PUBG ID wala person, or are you different? Yes, Subir, you're right. All are incorrect. Mudumalai, Tamil Nadu, I just told you. Mukurti is Kerala. It's also on the border, so it's very difficult to actually identify. Govind is in Uttarakhand. Let's actually take a look at them, where they are. So, let's see this. Can you see the map? Are we good? Everyone? No rain there, Komal? All right, okay. Neelam, why are you saying Bandipur? What for? Bandipur for what? All right, so coming here, this is your Uttarakhand boundary here, right? So Govind National Park is on the boundary of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh here. This is your Govind National Park. Yes, here. Now let's move on to Mukurti and Mudumalai. So as I told you, Sanjeev, Mudumalai is at the border of Kerala and Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Mudumalai is here at the very border. As I told you, this is the Karnataka border, this is the Kerala border and this is the Tamil Nadu border. So it is here. Mukurti is again here, but it's inside Kerala. It lies on the border of Tamil Nadu and Kerala here, very near to Silent Valley. So Mukurti National Park is here. Very clear? Everybody? Sanjeev, Neelam? Same person, Komal. All right. Anybody has any confusions? So if you want to know about more national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, we did a very nice question yesterday in which we covered 8 national parks from this. So you can go back and look at the Unacademy sessions PDF. I had covered Valmiki National Park yesterday, Singalila National Park, Neoda Valley National Park, both in Bengal, Valmiki in Bihar, at the banks of river Gandak. We also did Murulain National Park, which is in Mizoram. Aditya was there yesterday. The Bison Rajbari National Park here in Tripura. So it's a part of Trishna Wildlife Sanctuary in Bangladesh. The bison Rajbari shares its border with Bangladesh. And that's it. I think we did a couple of more of them. I'm forgetting the names right now. And we also did Molam National Park, which is in Goa. So this is what we did yesterday on the Unacademy session. All right. Next question, number 8. On your screens, 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. This is the thermal power plant. Yes, Aditya. You remember you did this incorrectly yesterday. And then I told you, put a dot anywhere in Goa and you'll be there. Remember? Alright, your time starts now. Sivranjani, there is a city forest national park in JNK, very near to the Dachagam Wildlife Sanctuary. It's also called Salim Ali National Park, the famous ornithologist or bird watcher. Are we good? Do you guys want to reconsider your answers? Yes, Aditya, I know. Vijay, you're very late to the class and I don't like it. If you have to be in the class, be on time. Be like Krishna. He was 7 minutes before in the class. Alright, Nandu has decided to skip this. So the correct answer is D. All are incorrect. Vankabori is in Gujarat. It is actually your Kheda power plant. Do you guys remember the Kheda Satyagraha also, Champaran and Kheda? The Kheda village in Gujarat. Remember? Everyone? Sivranjani has only given me the correct answer. D. All are incorrect. So let's go and check where Rosa and Sanjay Gandhi are. So your Rosa thermal power plant is in UP actually. Alright. And let's look at Sanjay Gandhi thermal power plant. So your Sanjay Gandhi thermal power plant, I specially named it and I did not give it the proper name of the thermal plant. So I'll show it to you. It's the Birsing power plant. Alright, it's in MP. So let's look at all these power plants here. And I think within 2 more sessions or 1 more sessions, we'll be able to complete all of these. We have covered a significant amount of them. So Rosa is here in Uttar Pradesh, the Shahjahanpur district, Rosa power plant. Alright. Then you have the Birsingpur power plant, which is here, which is also the Sanjay Gandhi thermal power plant here. Are we clear? In Madhya Pradesh, just over Sipat. Sipat is in Chhattisgarh. So a couple of kilometers away from that is Birsingpur. What happened, Suman? You two for what? Okay. Yes, Suman, you also answered correctly. Komal, it is D. All are incorrect. And your Kheda, which is very near to the Gandhinagar thermal power plant, is the one called Vanakbori thermal power plant. So let's actually see what rivers actually give them the water. So interestingly, with this Birsingpur plant, the water comes from Johila river. Have you guys heard of the Johila river? Anybody here from Chhattisgarh? I think Aditya is from Chhattisgarh. So you must be knowing about it, Aditya. This river rises in Amarkantak. Amarkantak, which is at the border of Chhattisgarh. So 3 rivers rise from Amarkantak. Narmada, Son and Johila river. So the Birsingpur gets its water from the Johila river. The Kheda gets its water from the Mahi river, which also flows alongside Tapi. And your Rosa is here. It gets it from a local river. I'm forgetting the name, so I'll take you to the name of the river. It's a local river in Rosa. What's the name of the river? I'll take you to that. Are you guys able to see the map? Alright, so the Gada river is a local river here. So Gada and Khanot are the 2 rivers which flow through the Shahjahanpur district of Uttar Pradesh. These are the two prominent rivers which flow through this. And there is one more. Gomti also flows through this. So Kannauj essentially ends up merging with Gada later on. So Gada river meets the water needs of Rosa Thermal Power Station in UP. Kheda's need is met by Mahi River. It's a huge power project, 2000 megawatt. 1200 megawatt is Rosa Thermal Power Plant. And the Sanjay Gandhi Thermal Power Plant or Beesing Power Plant is 1340 megawatts. Are we good? Johila. No, Johila is a tributary of Son actually. Aditya? It's not Mahanadi. It's Son. It rises from Amarkantak. In fact, not exactly from Amarkantak. It rises 10 km away from Amarkantak. There is some place called Jwaleshwar, from where this Johila actually rises. So, are we good? This is the place which I wanted to show you. So, basically, your Amarkantak is a meeting place of the Vindhya and the Satpura ranges. Right? So, that's because of its unique geography. It's a origin place of a lot of rivers that flow and then join Ganga finally, except for the Narmada, of course. So your Son river, your Narmada river and your Johila river, all of which start from here. This is the place. The red point here is your Amarkantak. It is at the border of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Huge dense forest, beautiful and amazing place. Are you guys still with me or dead everyone? Nobody is responding. Are you understanding the map? This is the Chhattisgarh boundary and this is the Madhya Pradesh boundary. Yes, Aditya, Amarkantak plateau region, a slight elevation. Alright, question number 9 on your screens. 15 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. With this question, I have a very beautiful Indian Express article which I want you guys to read. Alright, another 5 seconds to go and I will switch on the timer. Present, listening. Alright, okay. Your time starts now. This is an easy question, but the article attached to it, I want you guys to read. It's a beautiful article on constitutional debates and how this entire nomination thingy works. So it's important for mains too. I'm not seeing Soumya Banerjee coming to the classes. He keeps sleeping in the morning. Alright. So any correct answers so far? Naveen, you want to answer? Krishna answered already. Yes, Krishna. Option number C is correct. Scientists, journalists, social workers, jurists, engineers, all have been nominated so far. So far, 137 people have been nominated to the Rajya Sabha. So it's a part of Article 80 of the Constitution. Yes? Neelam, it's not A. It's option number C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All are included. Alright, I will show you why. So let me show you why. Keep. And I want to show you something here. Let's actually look at this. And there you go. So, this is a part of your union, part 5, article 80, which is what I wanted to show you. That's where it is written what I wanted to discuss with you guys. Let's actually look at it. So, Article 80 of the Constitution states, or Part 5, Union of the Constitution states that 12 members will be nominated by the President in accordance with the provisions of clause so and so, who should be distinguished in the fields of literature, science, art and social service. So since 1952, 137 people have been nominated as its members, and they have included jurists, educationists, historians, scientists, literatures, journalists, engineers, economists, administrators, artists, social workers, politicians, usually with the government of the day. And that's what makes this article a very, very interesting read. So it's a commentary on how the political party of the day nominates 12 people to the Rajya Sabha, because president has to act in accordance with the council of ministers or the cabinet, whatever the cabinet tells him to do, or whatever the council of ministers tells him to do. So please go and read this article. It was there in the Indian Express because Ranjan Gogoi was nominated to be a Rajya Sabha member. He is a former justice, CJI of India. Yes, Akash, very right. So I want you guys to go and read it. It's a beautiful article. It will increase your knowledge and it will help you write better answers in mains. Because see, it's nomination of members to the Rajya Sabha. So they were talking about Miss Rupa Ganguly. She was a former actress in Mahabharat. They were talking about Sonal Mohapatra, who's a very famous dancer, classical dancer. So they were saying all these people have been chosen from different fields and different regions of India to appeal to different groups of India. Their representation, for example, the representation of Rupa Ganguly, that is to keep the Bengali crowd satisfied. For Miss Mohapatra, it is the Odishan part. So every government, and it has been done by Congress too, they have been nominating Congress loyalists as a seat of the Rajya Sabha members. So what is the difference between nominated and elected members? They have all the privileges and the rights of the normal elected members to the Rajya Sabha. The only difference is they do not get a voting right in the elections of the president. Do you guys remember we discussed the elections of the president? So only the elected people of the legislatures of the state or the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha get a vote in the presidential election. Yes, Sivranjani. Sachin Tendulkar is a case in point. All right. So that is one. The second is, however, all these nominated members, they can take part in the election of the vice president, but not the president. So these are the two important pointers I want. But I really want you guys to go and read this Indian Express article. All right. Ranjan Gogoi, idea behind the Rajya Sabha nomination, learned debate, knowledge, expertise, etc. Beautifully written article. All right. Question number 10 is again an interesting exercise. So I will just give you 30 seconds to answer. Yes, Krishna, only elected members. Afreen, how have you been doing? Are you enjoying the class? Are you liking the class? Are you able to understand things? And Sivranjani, Krishna, what about you? Are you guys good? Are we okay with the things moving? Anything that you want to suggest? Anybody? All right. So Naveen, Nandu, and Suman have answered it correctly as of now. Yes, it's Anemia Bhukt Bharat, 6 into 6 into 6 strategy. I will talk about it. So why have we put it here? So there was a detailed PIB article on it. It was, this entire strategy was listed out as a reply in Lok Sabha, right? So it came in December 19. So we'll discuss that 6 into 6 into 6 strategy. All right, Krishna, very good. Hello, Parmod, you are new to the class and you are very late. So try to come on time. Usually I have my classes at 11 a.m. but today I can't say that. I had to have it in 12 p.m. But welcome to the class. All right. So Aditya Sharma is the sure ma'am. I have been a participant in Anemia Mukt Bharat, and since I've been preparing for UPSC, I'm already become anemic. It has sucked my blood out of me. Is that Aditya? All right. Yes, Komal, you're right. It's option number D. So Government of India had launched the Anemia Mukt Bharat under the Prime Minister's overreaching scheme for holistic nourishment, or Poshan Abhiyan. Remember the name of the Poshan Abhiyan. It's a part of a lot of schemes now. So that is there. The 6 into 6 into 6 strategy under the Anemia Mukt Bharat. Now, interestingly, why do we even have this thing? So I'll tell you, the diet that we Indians take, mostly most of us are vegetarians, barring some others. We also have Jains like me living here. So we hardly get any iron. We don't consume a lot of fish or a lot of non-vegetarian stuff, which can give you good amount of iron or omega-3 acids or whatever it is required. And we also do not consume food items rich in iron. For example, apples and all. It's a little costly for us to do that. So, and if a woman is anemic, it takes a toll on her health. So pregnancy wise she fails. The infants that are born out of that kind of mother, they are also very weak. So it kind of affects our entire generation. That's why this initiative is a very laudable initiative. Now let's look at the 6 into 6 into 6. Sorry, I was I-Kit. Parmod, what happened? I don't understand. All right. 6 into 6 is 6 age groups, 6 interventions by the government for Anemia Mukt Bharat, and 6 institutional mechanisms who will ensure that this scheme is implemented properly. All right. So what they are doing is ensuring supply chain for iron supplements, demand generation that people know that they are anemic, and monitoring the entire implementation of this program. Right. So the 6 population groups are children between the age of 1 to 5 years or 1 to 6 years, between 5 to 9, 10 to 19, pregnant women, lactating women means women who are breastfeeding their children, and women of reproductive age between 15 to 49, my age women. All right. So this is there. These are the 6 groups. So 3 for children and 3 for women. 1 to 5, 5 to 9, 10 to 19, pregnant, lactating and reproductive age women. So that's pretty easy to remember. Let's come about these 6 interventions. So iron and folic acid supplementation. In fact, I would like to share something very personal here. So I was highly anemic. My blood level was approximately 8 or 9. It should be ideally above 12. So or above 11 at least, above 11, 12. So I was 8 or 9 and I have taken these iron and folic acid supplementations from the CGHS. So I was covered under CGHS till the time I was dependent on my father. So I used to take a lot of folic acid and iron supplements. And trust me, being an anemic person is a huge toll on your health because you keep experiencing fatigue every now and then. The second is deworming. That is the second intervention. Good morning, Parmod. I heard you. All right. The third is intensified year-round behavior change communication campaign. So that means that you go and tell people that you need to consume foods rich in iron and to take the supplementation if you have been given the supplementation. It is available for free of cost. Then treating anemia by detecting it, and mandatory provision of iron and folic acid fortified foods. So whatever you get from the PDS system, it can be fortified. That's the easiest way to give it to people. And addressing non-nutritional causes of anemia in endemic pockets, for example, malaria, hemoglobinopathies, or fluorosis, right? So, what are the non-nutritional causes for anemia? For example, in women, the biggest cause is menstruation. You lose a lot of blood, almost 200 to 300 ml blood, and it takes a while for the blood to form again, right? And hereditary wise also, if not been consuming your nutrition properly, you will end up becoming anemic after a while. So that has to be taken care of. Yes, Afreen, you're right. Yes, Aditya, I was eating folic acid tablets, I was eating iron tablets, I was also consuming. There used to be a syrup, and trust me, it used to taste horrible. It was like drinking blood itself. So I used to have that syrup also, and I continued that for 2 years. And then finally I did my research and came to the conclusion the only way I can escape this entire problematic cycle by consuming more nutritious foods. So I moved on to spinach. I moved on to consuming what do you call ghia or bottle gourd, and I also moved on to consuming apple each day. So 2 or 3 apples each day. So that keeps the anemia in check. Yet I'm still not properly non-anemic. I'm still a little bit anemic. Yeah, beetroot juice Even carrot, beetroot, ginger juice. So I used to consume that also on a daily basis. All right. Coming to 6 institutional mechanisms, you will have ministerial coordination. All the ministries, whether it's of food or it's of health, they need to work in tandem, especially the women and child development also. National unit, there is a national program management unit of Anemia Mukt Bharat, they have to work. National Center for Excellence in Advanced Research Control on Anemia. So that is another one of the government organizations. Other ministries, I think it's the similar as point number 1. Supply chain and logistics. So that has to work. And finally, Anemia Mukt dashboard and digital portal. I will show it to you. One of the few beautifully developed dashboards we have in Government of India. Otherwise, I keep saying that the digital India is a distant dream, but this portal looks very beautiful. I will show it to you. And here is the PIB link that you can go and visit if you want detailed answer on this, but I have covered the entire PIB information here, so you really need not go to that. This is how the portal actually looks like. anemiamuktbharat.info, and this is as per anemia prevalence as per the National Family Health Survey 4. So 58% of children in the 1 to 5 age are anemic, adolescent children 54%, adolescent boys and girls 29%. So it's lesser in boys but more in girls. Because of menstruation, you lose a lot of blood. Women of reproductive age, imagine 53%, half of your population is anemic. How do you think the children will grow up to be? Pretty weak, with very weak immunity. Pregnant women, 50% anemic. So if you can see, Poshan Abhiyan logo is here, and Anemia Mukt Bharat, this logo, it looks like this. They have also come up with the AMB ranking in 6 of the age groups. So Haryana tops in the 1 to 5 age group. So Haryana has the lowest number of anemic children in the 1 to 5 age group. Nandu, unfortunately, I have a very good memory for that. So if you don't come to my 2 consecutive classes, I will start scolding you in the 3rd class whenever you come. So memory is not a problem. I eat a lot of almonds each day in and out. But yes, anemia is a problem. You can check your eyes. If they seem a little less reddish than they usually are supposed to be, and if your nails are a color of blue instead of flesh red or something or pinkish, then you have anemia. And then you can get it tested. It's pretty cheap. All right? Okay. Parmod, can we discuss your personal problems some other day? And can you please focus on studying? And if you're not inclined towards studying, then you can please leave the class. Don't disturb my other class. Because it is meant for UPSC Prelims 2020. And there are some serious people here and I want them to study. So you can leave if you're not interested in studying. All right? All right. Question number 11, 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. Another 5 seconds to go. And then we'll start. Now this question is a sitter. Everybody should get it correct. Neelam has already answered. Very good, Neelam. All right. I have 2 correct answers now. Well, actually, the answer is in their names only. So, small finance banks, definitely if there are small finance banks, why will they primarily lend to big corporate groups? So, how many of you remember your small finance banks were a part of the Nachiket More committee, which also suggested about payment banks? Do you guys remember? Yes? So, as of now, we have approximately 10 small finance banks in India. And yes, they can distribute mutual funds, insurance products and other simple third-party financial products. They are governed by the provisions of Banking Regulation Act 1945 and also the RBI Act of 1934 and some other provisions. So we'll see what those provisions are. Importantly, they were primarily meant for financial inclusion. And hence, if you want to lend to big corporates and groups, you already have the scheduled commercial banks and the private banks. So they were specially meant for underserved areas of the economy, right? And hence, option number 1 and 3 is correct. Yes, that's Krishna, that's one way to look at it. All right. Okay. So coming here, they mostly lend to or undertake basic banking activities, and they can both take deposits and lend, whereas the payment banks can only take deposits, they cannot lend. And hence, I think out of the 11 payment banks that we had, 5 of them have already shut the shop and left the economic sector. So these people, they help small business units, small and marginal farmers, MSMEs and unorganized sector entities. So of late, we have been trying a lot to have financial inclusion or institutionalized credit, but we are still far away from that. So I'll actually go and look up the percentages, how much financial inclusion has actually been achieved by all the measures, and then we can actually formulate a good answer out of that. Now, they can be promoted by individuals, corporates, trusts or societies. Anybody can promote them, and they are established as public limited companies. So recently we did another public limited companies, that was National Skill Development Corporation, right, under the Companies Act 1956, and this one is under the Companies Act 2013. Examples are Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, Jana Small Finance Bank, AU Small Finance Bank. It's the latest entrant, and they keep calling you day in and day out. So the regulations are Reserve Bank of India 1934, Banking Regulation 8 1949, and other relevant statutes which are applicable to banks. Now, what these banks can actually do, they can take deposit and give out loans. They can sell third-party financial products or other financial products. They have to lend 75% of their adjusted net bank credit to priority sector. Do you guys remember the session on PSL? We discussed in detail the priority sector lending. Do you guys remember? I showed you the entire PDF document that is there on the RBI website regarding the priority sector lending. Are we guys clear on that? And their minimum 50% of loans should be up to 25 lakhs. Now, what is the eligibility to become a small finance bank? You need to invest 100 crores as your capital, out of which 40 crores has to come from the promoter, which has to subsequently reduce to 26% in 12 years. So that's the eligibility criteria. That has to be the paid up capital. Yes? All right. Now, what they cannot do is lend to big groups and corporates. They cannot open branches without RBI approval for the first 5 years. And their activities should not cause a conflict of interest with the promoter of the bank. And they cannot set up subsidiaries or undertake non-banking financial services activities. That means they cannot have business correspondents or people going door to door offering financial services. Are we clear? All right. So everybody remembers PSL, priority sector lending now? If you don't remember, can you please go and check the previous YouTube sessions that we have taken? All right. Question number 12. Very easy. So your time starts now. Oh, yes, Krishna, I understand your feelings. It's ma'am. Parmod, I'm not saying you are bad. I'm saying don't disturb the class. All right. So I understand nobody is bad, but don't disturb the class. Yes, Aditya. All right. Anybody for question number 12 wants to answer, has an answer, doesn't want to answer, wants to skip? Afreen was the first one to answer. Anyone else? Neelam, why 2? Why not 1? Why only B? And Subir, you haven't been answering me for a while. And why option D? Why neither 1 and 2? Do you understand what a trade deficit means? Subir? Akash, why A? Alright, option number C is correct. Both 1 and 2 are correct. See, when you have a trade deficit, that means that you are importing more than what you are exporting. So there can be only two things which can happen. First is, for example, petroleum. Why do we have to import? Because the demand in domestic economy is not being met by domestic producers. We don't produce enough oil, right? So that's one thing. So that corrects your point number 1. The second is lack of competitiveness of the domestic industry. Now, let's talk about the solar panels, solar photovoltaic panels. Yes, Ashwat Kumar, you're new to my class and you're pretty late. Sivranjani, you are incorrect. Aditi, you are correct. Neelam says, ma'am, whatever you say, I have to mark it correct. So, okay, see. All right. Neelam, don't keep changing your answers. You will not be allowed to do that in the prelims. All right. Yes, Subir, you're right. It's trade imbalance. So, second point, when you consider about solar photovoltaic cells, right? Now, when we produce it in India, say the cost is 250 rupees per panel. When you produce it in China, it's 100 rupees per panel. So even with the import duties or whatever the duties we apply on goods that are imported, it becomes 150 or 170 rupees per panel. So definitely it's way cheaper than the 250 rupees per panel. And that's why your domestic industry is not producing, which has a payment-wise competitive advantage. So in that case, you would want to import it from some other country rather than producing it yourself, right? So that's why point A and B both are correct. Are we good? All right. Now, if you want to understand this more, you can go and visit this Indian Express article, beautifully explained here. All right, question number 30, 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. It's a pretty easy question, right? So I'll give you 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. Akash, I don't understand your contention. Can you write a complete sentence? And Ashwat Kumar, my class starts at 11 a.m. right? So you don't have to come at 1 a.m. To attend the class because we are nearing the end of the class. Yes, Sivranjani, they have a trade surplus with us. We are trade deficit with China. Another 5 seconds to go and then your time starts. Aditya, are you alive? Are you living? Shantini, are we good? Are we able to understand things? And Sabir, are we good? Are you able to understand things? All right, your time starts now. So Ashwat Kumar, any answers for this one? Suman, why A? You want to reconsider your statement? We still have time. All right. So I got most of the answers. All right. Naveen, why A? Why not D? It is option number D. All three are correct. We are being increasingly signing free trade agreements. We are signing a double taxation avoidance agreement. And we are trying to form common trade blocks. We already did a question on Mercosur. You guys remember? RCEP, Transatlantic Partnership, TPP, NAFTA, Asian Free Trade Agreement, right? So, all the three are correct. Reciprocal trade agreements capture all these kind of agreements where you tell another nation that whatever special advantages you're giving to me, I will give it back to you, right? So recently with Bangladesh also we came up with 100% duty off tariffs on certain commodities. Have you guys followed that news with Bangladesh very recently? And that was given by Miss Riva Ganguly. She's our Indian ambassador there. Most favored state? All right. No, so I'll tell you, Suman, why it is multilateral here. Have you seen the RCEP or the Asian Free Trade Agreement? So that's for an entire grouping of 10 or more nations. So they each are giving them benefits. For example, the European Commission itself, they have a common economy. They give each other the benefits of trading within themselves. In fact, so much so that they have so much integration with people and traveling arrangements also. So that's why it is also becoming a part of multilateral trading system, because people recognize instead of signing one-on-one treaties with everyone, it is better for a group of nations to do that in the interest of that entire region. Naveen, most favored nation is a different thing. So the concept of a most favored nation is uh, that whatever benefits under normal circumstances you are offering to other nation states who are doing business with you, you will offer it to that state also. So that Pakistan and India keep doing to each other. What happens in that case? For example, if say China wants to export something to us, we will take. We will not create much fuss. If Afghanistan wants to export something to us, we will take. USA wants to, so that's a normal trade. All right, all of them have most favored nation status. So MFN is a part of the World Trade Organization. All right. Now, when you remove the most favored nation statuses, if the import is coming from China, it is okay. It's not an enemy country. But when it comes from Pakistan, it's an enemy country. So we have taken off that status. So only very few goods can be imported, and that too, there will be heavy tariff on that. So that's what most favored nations is there, right? Yeah, Aditya Sharma already got that. Agreed? So there is a difference. So all these 3 points are correct here, and D is the answer. Now, question number 14. This time everybody should get it correct. We have been doing this for the past 7 days now. Everybody should have on their tips the founders of the philosophical schools, right? Your time starts now. All right, Suman. Neelam and Suman, do one thing. I think Neelam, in your area it must be raining. Suman, Krishna, all of those who have answered option number D, right? And not option number C. All of those who have answered option number D, go do one thing. Whenever it rains in your area, go out, take a bowl, fill it with water and drown yourself in it. Because we have been doing this question for eternity now. So go yourself and drown in it. This should have been on your tips by now. We do this question every single day. Neelam is saying, yes, ma'am. I'll go and collect a bowl of water and drown myself in it. Yes? Are you saying that, Neelam? This is very disappointing. Yes, Akash, Gautam is Nyay. So, Gautam is not Vaisheshika, it's Nyay. This is very basic of Indian art and culture. This you should remember. Gemini is Mimamsa, which talks about the theory of Anekantvad. That if 10 different people see an object, they will perceive it in 10 different ways. Kapil Muni Sakya philosophy. You have a nature and man philosophy, dualism. So as much as this is Anekantvad, this is Dvaitvad. Alright. This Mimamsa is pluralism. Gautam is Nyaya philosophy based on logic. Are we good? Yes, first one is wrong. So this slide I show you daily. Take a snapshot, do whatever you want, but this should be on your tips. Nobody. I will take a question on the next session, right? and nobody should get it incorrect. If you get it incorrect, go and drown yourself somewhere, because we have discussed this. Yes, चुल्लू भर पानी में डूब मरो सबके सब जाके. Sanjeev, if you don't understand Hindi, it means go drown yourself in shame. Are you there? Sanjeev is not even responding. He's so scared. All right. Okay. So we have discussed this a lot of times, guys. This shouldn't be incorrect, right? Chalo. Question number 15 and the second last question of the day. Yes, Suman, please do that. This is very basic of art and culture. You should know it. All right? Okay. 20 seconds to read and 30 seconds to answer. And then in the last, we have a treat. We have a very good map question. So that's the treat for the eye. But Sanjeev, nonetheless, I'm very happy that you're regular and you're making an effort, right? Very happy. So all the bashing aside, I have to scold you guys so that you guys do it better. But I'm very happy with all of you. Your time starts now. Guys, read again. All those who have answered, read again. Read again, read again. You want to change your answers, you can still do. Neelam, specially for you. Only option A is correct. It never means that the government considers them to be essential. Option number C is not correct. It looks easy. That's why I said, see, the entire idea of putting anything under the Essential Commodities Act 1955 or putting it in that schedule is, for example, when the coronavirus just struck, the prices of sanitizers and masks were actually shooting up the roof. I remember for a normal mask, which is usually available for 5 rupees, was available at 30, 40 or 100 rupees, right? So what the government does here is, Aditya, it's not C, it's A. All right? Yes, Krishna, you're right. So what the government does is, it puts such essential items which are required to fight something, or when it wants to regulate the pricing and availability of a certain item, it will put it under the Essential Commodities Act. Why? So that the government can fix the MRP of such things. So the government then came up with the notary, right? You remember? Nobody can charge you more than 30 rupees for a mask, something like that. You guys remember? That had to be written or printed outside each pharmacist's shop, that they will not charge you beyond this. In fact, that came out after I got the masks. So if I had known that this notification had already come out, I would have put that person in jail. Yes, Aditya. So for that, you put these commodities in the Essential Commodities Act, and yes, the government can put something in the schedule under the Essential Commodities Act and also take it out based on the requirement or the need, or whenever the government deems fit. So a very recent example was potatoes and tomatoes and onions were taken out of the Essential Commodities Act in the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Why am I telling you this? Because Nirmala Sitharaman, our finance minister, said that these commodities, potatoes, tomatoes or onions, they shouldn't be in the essential commodities because the government does not want to fix the prices now. The farmer should get adequate compensation for whatever he is growing. So we will not control the prices now. So that is what it means to be in the Essential Commodities Act. It does not mean that they are essential to the fight. They were important to the fight, but not essential. Are we clear? All right. Yes, Suman, even I got it, but thankfully I got it for 30. I got a normal mask, and the other abnormal mask was for 100 or something. So I remember this very clearly. All right. Now, I want you guys to do one more thing. There was something that I had written. All right. No, I think I forgot it. So I want you guys to go and check this article once. It will give you a very clear idea of the distinction All right. So it is Essential Commodities Act 1955. So government can fix the maximum retail price or MRP and can put something in the Essential Commodities Act and also take it out. They can declare a commodity to be essential commodity based on government's convenience. So your homework for today is to go and check as of now what are the commodities are there in the Essential Commodities Act under 1955. There must be 5 to 8 items in that. Pretty easy to remember. Go and check that out. All right. So that you don't miss it out in the prelims question. Afreen, I think yes. I'm not too sure. There are 5 to 8 commodities. So please go and check that. I'm not remembering all the names. I taught this when I was teaching Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So please go and check. I don't want to give you a half-baked answer. All right. Favorite question for the day? Mapping. So please take a snapshot. All right. Please take a snapshot, click a picture, do whatever you want. And then on the next page, we have the question. And let me know when you've taken the snapshot. I'll wait for another minute. Aditya is drafting your questions for prelims, guys. Take advice from him. Right, Aditya? And Vijay, you were late to the class today. I don't like people coming late to my class. Neelam doesn't listen to me at all. She comes late to the class daily. She has some other work which is more important than civil services. But I don't like people coming late to the class. So have you guys taken the snapshot? Let me know in the chat section. Guys, we can do one thing. Instead of taking a photo of the map on your screen, take the snapshot of the question. Take the snapshot of this and I will show you the map. That way it is better. So take the snapshot of the question on your screen and I will keep showing you the map. Suman, Neelam, everybody else, there's a slight change. Take the snapshot of the question on your screen and I will show you the map. All right? Take the snapshot of this screen. Are we done? Should I move to the map now? Have we taken the snapshot of the screen? Yes? Yeah, I was dumb enough to not to do that. So apologies from my side. Your teacher should be smart. Your teacher was dumb to not recognize that. But I have corrected it now. So from now onwards, we will take the snapshot of the question and I'll keep the map on the screen. So we'll go back. Are we done? Naveen, you want to see that again? There is your map. Now you can answer me. All right, I'll wait. Yes, Krishna, I'm waiting. Take the snapshot and then I'll show you the map. Are we done? All right, I'll move to the map now. Krishna, are you done? Shantini and Naveen, why B? Where's the confusion? Tell me. All right, all those who have answered option number A, you are correct. 1, 2, 3, 5 are the incorrect ones. Naveen, did you not read incorrect? Did you read it correct? And that's why you answered 2, 3, 5, 6? Even then option B would be wrong. Because only 4 and E are correctly matched. Yes, Nandu, you're right. It's option number A. So actually look at this. Let's look at this. A is your Cape Agulhas, very near to Cape of Good Hope, right? B is your Great Dividing Range. I will show it to you after zooming in. Yes, Aditya and Akash, you're right. C is your Canary Islands. D is your Mont Blanc, the Mont Blanc pen also, or the Mountain Blanc. E is your Baffin Bay, nearby Greenland. And this is your Bering Strait. Bering Strait is between Alaska and Russia. It separates Alaska and Russia. So I will just zoom in the entire map and show it to you. Let's start with the Great Dividing Range. Here is your Great Dividing Range. This is the Darling in the Murray River. Remember it. I might ask you the Darling Murray River Delta in the next class. So Great Dividing Range in Australia. Arafura Sea is very close to this. Timor Sea is very close to Timor-Leste, a part of this area. Then you have the Great Barrier Reef and the Coral Sea, very close to New Caledonia. Do you remember New Caledonia has the largest lagoon? You remember that? The world's largest lagoon? Yes, Akash. Bye, Aditya. All right. Then, coming here, you have the Bering Strait, very close to the Bering Sea. Or you also have Beaufort Sea at 80° north latitude, somewhere between 80° and 60° north latitude, nearby the Brooks Range. All right. Then we have the Baffin Bay in between Greenland and Canada. Yes, Soman, I'll do that. Right? I'll do that. I remember it now. Now, let's come to Canary Islands. These group of islands here, very close, are the Canary Islands, very close to Senegal. All right. So this is your Canary Islands here, very famous islands. Mont Blanc or Mount Blanc is here in the Alps, Switzerland. If you want to do DDLJ is the better way to remember it. Yes, this is Mont Blanc here. What else did we have? Cape Agulhas, very near to Cape of Good Hope. All right. This can be, the South Africa can be seen in the movie. It was Deepika Padukone, Saif Ali Khan's movie, Cocktail, right? So they were here in South Africa only. The Drakensberg Mountains can be seen in the background of that song. Very famous dancing song. I'm forgetting the name of the song. So this is Cape Agulhas for you. Cape Horn we have already done. Anything else that is left to be discussed? Baffin Bay. I have already shown it to you. Baffin Bay is here. So are we good? I think I've discussed everything. Yes. Krishna, are you able to follow me? Naveen, Neelam, Akash, Nandu, Vijay. Shantini, Afreen, Suman, Sivranjani, Sanjeev. Are you guys able to follow me? All right. So I'll close for the day. Any doubts from the mapping thing? Any doubts at all in the map that we just did? Let me know. Otherwise, I'll close for the day. And if you like the video, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel UPSC CSE in Academy. UPSC CSE in English with Unacademy, so that you can receive notifications and you can be aware when the class is happening and you don't miss a class, right? You're very welcome, Naveen. And with that, I'll close for today. We did not have the rapid fire round, otherwise we would have announced the winners. So we'll definitely have more questions in the coming session. Excuse me for today. It was a scheduling problem from my end, so I will be very careful from next time onwards. But I hope you had a very lively and informative session. Yes? Everyone, you're very welcome. Neelam gets really scolded hard by me. So Neelam, don't mind me. I scold you only for your benefit, right? All right? Chalo. Then we'll call it a day. So take care, everyone. And if it rains in your area, do go and drown yourself for getting that question incorrect on philosophy, so that you remember never to do that question wrong. All right, Shantini. All right, Akash. Chalo, bye-bye.